33, 1%, coaching things.
Right.
So, but that's pretty much what my strengths were. And Jason, we had him doing a lot of working with him on the hitting, getting set up properly. And there's differences in your hitting style depending on your injury.
Okay, right, yeah.
Jason's an amputee.
Right.
So he works really, really well with the amputees because he knows how to hit that way. There were a couple times that he would refer to me when a kid wasn't an amputee, when a kid is, hits more like I do.
Right.
He would pull me inside.
And you're in a wheelchair.
Right.
Both of our coaches here today are in wheelchairs.
Yeah. So, I would help him out there. And of course, Siobhan being a female coach, we have females on the team, and they looked up to her. And I'll let you say what your strength is. Go ahead.
I like to do the fielding drills with the kids.
Right.
Get in there and work with them and make sure that their fielding was on par. Because that's a big thing, because when you field, when you're able-bodied, you have a glove. We don't use gloves.
Oh, okay.
So we have to, literally bend down and, scoop up the ball. And if you don't scoop it up right, you're going to jam a finger or, maybe even roll over a finger. So we had to make sure that they weren't rolling over the balls and things like that, so.
What is the idea behind not having a glove? Just the fact that it's an extra thing that could get caught in the wheelchair, or what's the idea?
Well, when you have a glove on, you have no way to grab your
yes,
quill.
Right. I thought maybe you did it and threw it off or something like that.
I wish I was talented enough to do that.
Well, there you go. See, throughout this interview, I'll show plenty of ignorance, so that's just fine. But I can see that that's a really cool thing. So. In the end, now we're about to head for competition here. How did you each feel as you were heading towards Omaha and this competition? Obviously, the competition was going to be fun and gratifying for the kids, but what was your sense of excitement?
I was excited for the kids to go out and just play. They've been practicing for 2 months, and in the heat of the summer, and just to go up there and have that excitement of them playing. I honestly did not know how we would do. I knew we had a good team. I knew both Nebraska and Chicago had been playing for a while, so they had that experience on their side. And it was in Omaha, Nebraska's home field. They were the defending champions. They've won 3 or 4 in a row or whatever it was. So I knew it would be a challenge, but I thought we could do it.
And you?
I was, of course, excited and nervous. Same way I feel about my own competitions, that we go to. And I was just excited to see the kids play, like what John was saying. They've been practicing. I was just excited to see them play, really.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Hey Kansas City, Joe Spiker, Easton Roofing, back for another beautiful springtime in Kansas City. We are proud to announce our renewed partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City. Starting in 2024, a portion of every job sold will be donated to a cause close to my heart. I was a big, and I encourage you to volunteer. And if you hire us for service on your residential or commercial roof, you'll know that a portion of the profits will go to a great cause. So call us at 913-257-5426. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
We're here at the 23rd Street Brewery with Matt Llewellyn. And Matt, basketball's over, football's still a few months away, but there's always fun to be had at the 23rd Street Brewery.
Absolutely. We've always got something going on here. The games are always going on. It's a great place to come enjoy everything out on the patio. Beautiful scenery out there. Great beer. I've got a great brewer, great food. It's always fun here at the brewery.
And the atmosphere is great and friendly and warm, too.
We always want to make sure you're a lot happier when you leave than you were when you came in.
Always fun here at the 23rd Street Brewery at 23rd and Castle. Make sure to come by when you're in Lawrence.
If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business on Kansas City's #1 rated podcast, contact us at Danny@DannyKlinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you.
Our guests are John Teegarden and Siobhan Bertles. They are two of the three coaches of the Kansas City Royals junior wheelchair softball team, a co-ed softball team of junior players that just won the Wheelchair World Championship on the junior side. And they're going to be shown on-field recognition at a Kansas City Royals game coming up, so we'll get into a couple of those exciting things. You've given us a little bit of the flavor of the competition already, John, but talk about the structure of how it went. 3 teams, round robin, and then elimination games. Talk about that.
Yeah, it was 3 teams, round robin, like you said. Then the schedule went that the number 1 seed, which was Nebraska, would play the number 3 seed.
And Nebraska won both of their games.
They won both. They won both of theirs. So they would play the Cubs. They went out and they, I think they beat the Cubs pretty good. Then we had like a lunch break to give them kind of a break. And then
the Cubs are playing sort of the elimination game because you were the 2nd seed and they were the 3rd seed at this point. So
right.
So you play for the right to play the undefeated Nebraska team, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I told the kids after the first time we played the Cubs that was the best I've ever seen them play. We played the Cubs again, and 10-3. I told them that I lied and that this was the best I'd ever seen them play.
Well, they just improved over the best they had played before.
Right, yeah. So
when you get on competition, Siobhan, obviously the first game you lose. What's the feeling? It's the first game they've ever played together. They lose. And what was the score of that game, first game?
7-0.
7-0. That's right. You said that before. So they lose 7-0. They don't score any runs. They get beat rather handily, but the other team's the champs. But you felt like they played pretty well. But so what was there? Did you have to was part of that just picking them up because they had lost the game and didn't score any runs?
A little bit, yeah. I think they still felt really well because we talked about it before we went out. And just after, we did a little bit of pep talk. And me and John did that. And Jason's always real good about, helping out and saying, hey, this is what we can improve on. And just we worked really well as coaches and being positive and making sure that they understood that next game's coming up. It's time to play still. So
it was time to play again, and now you're going to win, and you're going to go on to you're going to try to get yourself a victory under your belt. So you're not going to be the 3rd seed. What was that first taste of victory like?
It was really good. It was after that first game, I was maybe a little nervous because I just you want to get that first win,
right?
And it was a tight game. Again, Chicago had kids bigger than our kids, but we just did what we did. We used our speed and we used our defensive skill, and we pulled out a 3-1 win. And we gave up 7. We turn around and don't score any. Turn around and we just give up 1 and score 3.
That's great. And then so then you really get to watch the other 2 teams play, and you get to play the team that Siobhan you're going to see play. They had to be at this point. The Cubs had to be pretty intimidating. They basically had won all their games so far, and they'd beaten you pretty handily. So what was the attitude like going into the game? Well, that was the first qualifying game. So now you go play the elimination game against Chicago. So I'll get into that one. I'm trying to keep everything straight in my mind. So here's the elimination game against Chicago because they were the 3rd seed. And how did that one go?
That one went amazing. We had, the 3rd inning is where we rallied. And that is where our turning point really was. Our kids were just explosively, having so much fun, and everyone was cheering everyone. Everyone was, in tune to it. So, when we got ready to go back on the field, it was that was a turning point to all of it, honestly.
So they're enthused and they're fired up, and now it's time for the final, which I thought I was getting to before. But so now it is time for the final, and you're playing a team that hasn't lost yet, and they've won 3 or 4 championships in a row, John. Yep. And what was the attitude going in? Were they all fired up because of that big rally and ready to go and say, hey, well, they beat us before, but that doesn't matter?
They were excited. I don't know if there was any doubt. in their minds. They were just ready to get out there because they knew they kept playing better and better, and so they were up to the challenge.
So tell us about the game. Tell us about the championship game. Either one of you, tell us about the championship game.
We actually started out.
It was so exciting. Siobhan has blanked out on the excitement level of this game. So go ahead, John. Tell us about the game.
We actually were the first ones to score, and I think we scored in the first inning. Nebraska then came back and took the lead 2-1 on us, and that was a point where they really buckled down, and we got a big rally in like the fourth inning, I believe, and drove in 3 runs. And it wasn't just the top of the order; it was like the bottom of the order was getting on base and just being fast around the bases, and causing Nebraska to make mistakes. Because we get somebody who's that fast. Sometimes you're going to throw the ball a little quicker than what you should, and it ends up going in the outfield and things like that. And we just took advantage.
And closed it out. What was the final score of that?
It was 4-2.
4-2. So you had pretty good pitching. Tell me, Siobhan, about the art of pitching and your pitcher and how that works.
Definitely not my forte, but
you can describe it though.
When you pitch, we do pitch underhanded.
Right.
And so, when you pitch underhanded with a wheelchair, you got to miss the wheel, or
right.
or else it flips and stuff. And we had our pitcher was Talon, and he did amazing. When it came into like clutch, he actually would strike people out in order to like end the inning. And honestly, that's how he won it. That's how we won our last game, is he actually struck out the batter.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was great.
So tell me a little bit about, we'll talk about the celebration, et cetera, and then the recognition you're going to get. But what was the atmosphere like at the tournament, John?
It was a great atmosphere. The Barons put on a great event. We've been up. This is our second time up there. We're going up. The adults are going up there yet again next week.
Yeah.
But they put on a wonderful, wonderful event, and they served everybody lunch. They had, lunch and dinner, refreshments all over. So it was. They treated us really well.
Do you have good fan support, or people come and support you? And were there fans just there from Nebraska to watch? So each team's support. What was the crowd like?
It was amazing. I mean, we were all there for the kids and watching them. Everyone was super supportive, and a lot of family for our side that came up with the kiddos. But Nebraska, since they did host, they had team members from the adult side.
Right.
They came in to watch, which was really nice, just to have the support from them, too.
Well, you get the final out. What was Talon? Is that the person's name? Yeah. Well, it sounds intimidating. So he strikes out the last batter, and what was the feeling like? What was the celebration like?
It was pure euphoria. It really was. Jason, he's the amputee. He almost jumped out of his leg. I really thought he was going to, and he went round and out on the field, and we just. Siobhan she's like, I'm going to tape this, and she was in the dugout taping the celebration, and I went rolling out in the field, and we're just hooting and hollering, and they're telling us what to do over the loudspeakers. We're not hearing anything, but it was just incredible. The kids were so excited.
That is really cool. Now we'll get into the further recognition of your team, but why don't you just, John, tell people how they could maybe go see the video and see and hear about this team and all your teams, the website, et cetera, where the people could visit.
Yeah, it's MidwestAdaptiveSports.org, and we have not just the youth softball, youth basketball, we have rugby, we have adult softball, we have tennis, we have adult basketball. We do snow skiing, water skiing.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah, we've been around for about 12 years, and we just keep adding more sports. So
I think for people who've watched the Olympics, Siobhan, the thought of Adaptive rugby sounds pretty challenging. Rugby itself looks challenging, but
Yeah.
you ready for some adaptive rugby?
I don't get to play rugby.
There you go.